All right, hello and welcome everyone to the Ohio Sim Valley Sports 358 Modified Mayhem Tour. Tonight we are at race number 2 of our doubleheader here at the Mecca of Dirt, Eldora Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got I believe 9 drivers out here tonight ringing around this dirt track of fame. Tony Stewart, if you've heard of that name, he is the owner of this track. This track hosts some of the most prestigious dirt racing events out there. There's no name out bigger as far as dirt ovals go than you have with Eldora. But ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off tonight's event and start it off with the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Alright, we are about ready to get going here with our single car qualifying. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not alone here in the booth. I have an in-race reporter that we'll be going back and forth with today there. The fastest guy in the practice session there, he'll be showing up as principal if our overlays are working, which they do not appear to be working quite correctly. Hunter Wellman. Hunter, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Well, not too bad here. We're about getting ready to go into our single car qualifying session here. What do you think is going to be the trick to getting a fast lap and starting near the pole position for our heat race?
I think it's really going to depend on what the track state will be. In the last race at Husitz, the track state was reset between practice and qualifying. So if it's reset, it's going to be all the way on the bottom, as low as you can get it. However, if we don't reset it, which I'm not sure if we will or we won't, it could be all over the place. Some drivers will try to take the bottom and some will try to take the high line.
Well, exactly. And we got about 10 seconds left in this practice session. We see Cody Contrail trying for one last practice lap here. Don't know if he's going to quite get it all the way in. But 2 laps around here to set the fastest lap time you can. Fastest one will start on pole for the first heat race. And then our heat race will determine your starting lineup for the feature. So it's going to be an interesting couple laps for these drivers.
Definitely.
Well, Hunter, when you go out, we'll focus on you. And why don't you talk us around a lap here at Eldora?
Alright. Since I'm not really full-time here, I'll try to do a lap on the top and lap on the bottom to give everybody a true tour of Eldora. Coming out, you don't get much time to speed up, so you're going to want to take the top before your first lap, not hit the wall like I just did. You want to get as much momentum as possible coming into turn 1. Want to get that car as straight as possible. I invalidated it. if you didn't hit the wall like an idiot like me, you'd keep going like this, trying to get as much momentum. If you run the inside, you want to dive down early, still keeping that car straight, but you don't want as much gas because you don't have that banking to help you.
When you see right there just how early you have to anticipate that corner and turn down when you're running that bottom line.
Yeah, the inside and outside are very different from each other. I'm not sure if you can see it on the TV. You might be able to check my onboard cam, but the inside is almost flat compared to the top.
We are riding
I come
along
down here.
on board with you in your cars, so we're seeing what you see.
Yeah, there's maybe a couple of degrees of banking down here, but not too much. I can swing to the outside real quick. You can see much more banking. So that's going to play a role tonight as the track slicks off the two lanes. They'll switch between being slower or faster, and as a driver, you're going to have to gauge which one is faster and which one will work better for you.
Well, your second lap down at the bottom definitely proved to be faster. You are fastest on the point right now. Daniel Northcutt just behind you, 0.2 of a second slower though. Zach Holbrook in third. Oh, you just got taken out by Dawson Contrell. We know this guy is super fast though. It's not a surprise to see him up at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I was really hoping to get a pole here, but Dawson is one of the fastest in this league. Not too surprised he beat me. I am a little disappointed.
And for the viewers at home wondering why, we got Hunter up in the booth with us as well as down on the track. Hunter normally runs race control, but he feels pretty confident in these guys' driving abilities here tonight, so he decided he was going to hop in a car and mix it up with these guys.
Yeah, these group of guys have been running really cleanly. We at OVSS are proud of them. Me and the other admins feel that I would be able to run tonight and there wouldn't be too many issues. We went almost caution-free at Huset's. There was a caution late in the race that may or may not have been deserved. A couple of cars got in the wall. But other than that, it was a really clean show. And for a track as tricky as Huset's, these guys did a really good job.
Absolutely, and now we are getting ready to grid up with heat race number 1. Dawson Contrell, fastest on the point there in qualifying, will start pole position. Zach Holbrook will be starting inside or outside of row number 1. Aaron Murphy in that 41, another one of our admins here at the Ohio Valley Sim Sports League, starting in third with his cousin David Murphy just outside of him. So it does look like this heat race is getting split up into 2, unlike the Huset's race where they had them all run one race.
I have just gotten word, looking at the lineup sheet, there will be 3 heat races tonight.
Well, they're really splitting things up here, running one heat race at Huset's in here, and really wanting to extend things out at Eldora. I mean, I don't blame them. The more laps you can get at Eldora, the better, but...
Yeah, iRacing removed a feature that prevents broadcasters and race control and all non-participants from watching the event. So everyone has to register as a driver and then disqualify themselves. However, that messes up with iRacing's lineup. So there will be 3 heats when taking into account all of the people that have disqualified. Even though only the drivers are racing tonight.
Absolutely, and I don't know if it's that they removed that feature or if iRacing just changed something that most people when they're setting up races didn't catch, and it removes that feature as an option. Because I know there was an option to not allow spectators, and I'm wondering if they didn't make that feature turned on by default now somehow. But looks like we are getting ready to go green flag racing for the first time here. 10 laps around this dirt oval. Dawson Contrell, he's going to be hard to hold back here. Aaron Murphy, Zach Holbrook in the best position to try to catch up to him though. Dawson with a good start there. On this misty, foggy day here, it's almost kind of hard to see what our drivers are doing. Zach Holbrook, though, doing a pretty good job of keeping Dawson Contrail honest there, staying right on his back bumper through 1 and 2. Murphy looking a little too hard to the inside there, catches that inside wall. That is going to put him back into the clutches of David Murphy and nowhere near this front group right now. Dawson Contrail out to an easy lead, 7/10 of a second ahead of newcomer Zach Holbrook. This is technically officially his second race here with the Ohio Valley Sim Sports here in the Mayhem Tour. But first night with us. Six laps to go here. Dawson Contrail out to a handy lead, over a second over Zach Holbrook. Then we got about a second back to Aaron Murphy here in third place with David Murphy all over that back bumper. See Aaron catching a little bit of that outside wall. Back to Aaron. He's doing everything he can to give himself a few more inches of racing room, but that concrete wall not wanting to give. David Murphy moving around him, taking third place away, but Aaron pulling the crossover move. David going to cross back on over, though, after Aaron cleared up ahead of him. They make a little bit of contact there. Aaron hard into that outside wall. In fact, there's a tire rolling away from that 41 machine. No cautions here in these heat races. That is an unfortunate turn of events for that 41 car. At least there's plenty of time for that team to put that tire and associated suspension back together on that race car and get them back out here in time for the feature race. Hunter, what are you seeing out there? Maybe you're seeing something I'm missing.
Oh, I ain't seeing a whole lot. It is very foggy out here at Eldora.
Absolutely, that weather is closing in. But we got a pretty even spread between first, second, and third here. Dawson Contrail just out kind of for a Sunday cruise at the moment as he takes a checkered flag. And that will leave Zach Holbrook in second, David Murphy in third. Now we're getting ready for our second heat race here. And looks like Hunter, you get to start on pole position with Hunter LaJoy. The tale of two Hunters on the front row here in heat race number 2 with Nathan McCutcheon starting third behind you.
Yeah, very happy to start on the inside. As of right now, there's still enough grip in the track to make the inside much faster.
You are going to have your work cut out for you here a little bit, though. That 88 behind you for sure we know is a very fast car. We didn't see too much out of Hunter and the or LaJoy out of the first race at the Hoosits, but that's not saying that he's not that great at Hoosits and maybe Eldora's his favorite track.
Yeah, Hunter hasn't been here in a while. He may just be a little rusty getting used to how we run things at OVSS. He's still a solid driver all around. I'm excited to start on the front row with another Hunter.
Well, as the pace truck pulls off, we're getting ready to go green flag racing here for another 10 laps. 3 cars in this heat race.
Yeah, I believe, Tom, you were supposed to be in this, however, you are a broadcaster. So iRacing put 3 cars in one heat and 3 in another.
Well, I would have loved to have been. As far as dirt tracks go, I'm not that great dirt racing, but Eldora is one of my favorite tracks. I'm not necessarily good, but I do love running here.
Oh, quit lying. I've raced with you before. You do much better than you think you do.
I'm
I
good for a
usually
lap
see
or
you
two.
running in the. I usually see you running in the top 5.
I'm only good for a lap or two on dirt. Once the track starts changing too much, I turn into crap.
That's the best part, trying to figure out what line to run.
And that's the one thing I'm not very good at, is chasing the grip in a track, which is all of what dirt racing is. We are green flag racing here. Murphy. That Hunter Wellman not giving these boys a chance. Not the, well, I shouldn't say not giving them a chance, but McCutcheon doing his best to keep with that 64 car there at the very front of the pack. Hunter LaJoy there, that 7 car, falling back just a little bit, but he is starting to find a little bit of pace. He's starting to reel that 70 or 88 back in.
Yeah, I saw the green come out and I tried flooring it. I did not want to screw up the start for this heat race.
Well, you definitely did not screw it up. You got out to an easy lead, now over, almost a second over Nathan McCutcheon in that 88. Nathan's not exactly a slow driver, but he had adversity to overcome earlier at Huset's. He's trying to make up for that mistake of missing the driver's meeting up now. Going to be a battle for second here. Hunter LaJoy starting to figure something out. Nathan moving down to try to block that momentum on the bottom side from LaJoy, but not quite, LaJoy's not quite there to his bumper yet to make a move even. Halfway through this race here, still running single file. Hunter Wellman at the front of the pack. Nathan McCutcheon running second. Hunter LaJoy in third. 3 cars in this heat race. And you're starting to see dust starting to fly here at Eldora Speedway. That means that track is starting to dry up a little bit. And where the track starts to dry up, you start to lose traction. You don't have quite the amount of grip on a dry track as you do a wet one. LaJoy doing everything he can to reel in McCutcheon. It's going to be a little bit too little too late. I think he's going to run out of laps as they are 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag right now. Hunter Wellman across the line one more time across this, around this track. Hunter Wellman will take the checkered flag in heat race number 2. Nathan McCutcheon's going to hold on for second. Hunter LaJoy, after starting outside pole, will finish in 3rd place. Now going to get ready for our 3rd and final heat race here. 3 cars in this race. Daniel Northcutt will start on pole position. Had a strong run earlier at Huset's, managing to sneak up into 3rd. Almost battled this man right here for the lead for a little bit. Jason Smith, who won at Huset's. And Cody Contrail bringing up the back of this pack. Hunter, if you have to pick one from this this strong heat race here, 3 cars, we all know these 3 drivers are pretty fast. Who would you pick for the win?
Oh, with such a short race distance, I'm not really sure. I might have to go with Daniel Northcutt on this one. Track position has proved to be king with the track so tacky. He's starting on the pole. I think he'll be able to take it from the start.
Well, he spent the majority of the last race watching 2 of our league's best, Dawson Contrail and Jason Smith, duke it out ahead of him. He almost had Dawson pass for second there. He needed a few more laps. He might have been able to snag a 2nd place away, but settled for 3rd, right behind Dawson. He's been watching. He's been learning. He's been gaining a lot of speed here these last few races.
He has 100%. Pace truck rolls off. Let's see who can win heat race number 3.
Green flag in the air. They're all kind of waiting to put that hammer down. All nice and even coming into turn number 1 here. Still side by side. Jason Smith going to have the momentum on the outside to take the lead away from Northcutt though. Battle not over for Northcutt. Cody Contrail thought about looking to the inside. Had his nose alongside that door panel. Did not have enough room to keep the momentum off the corner though. Daniel did a good job of keeping him tied down on that bottom line. All this fog and dust is making things difficult to see, but Jason Smith out to an early lead. Daniel Northcutt in that 77 machine is not content to just let him drive away though. You see he's actually kind of closing that gap to the leader ever so slightly. Still single file here. Jason Smith opening the gap back up after Northcutt was able to close it down a little bit. These guys running all in the 16.7 to 16.9 lap times the last time across the line. Pretty evenly spread as we see Northcutt catching that outside wall a little bit. That's definitely not going to help his lap time too much.
Oh, it is all about the momentum here. Any little thing that slows you down will hurt you in the long run.
Well, in that little bit of contact with the wall, you see that, to your point, Hunter, you see Northcutt falling behind a little bit just because he made that contact at the fastest point of the track, basically across the start-finish line. That allowed Jason Smith to open that gap up to about 3/4 of a second now. But even the difference from Heat 2 to Heat 3 and how much dust they are kicking up going into the corners now. You see how much that track is drying out as they put laps down here.
It won't be long and we'll start seeing that outside line be the predominant lane.
Absolutely, you have to start moving around the track when the track starts drying out. These cars are what's causing that track to dry out, so it's you got to move where the cars aren't to find traction. White flag is in the air. Jason Smith still out ahead of Northcutt. And it's going to be Jason Smith across the line first. Northcutt in second. Cody Contrail bringing up third for our final heat race tonight. Now these boys are going to get 3 minutes to figure out exactly where this track has gone as far as traction and what their cars have for them. They get 3 minutes of that. Go ahead, Hunter.
Sorry, I was just saying, Daniel Northcutt had a hard charge there at the end. He set the fastest lap of the race as the track was drying out.
Well, sometimes, depending on the makeup of the clay and the material that they use for the dirt track, sometimes there is a sweet spot in that moisture content that would give you that maximum amount of traction. Maybe Northcutt was getting to that sweet spot.
He might have been.
But we are now out on track. Hunter Wellman putting the fastest lap down already so far, 16.62. Nathan McCutcheon not too far back though with the 16.68. This warm-up doesn't mean anything towards points, so this is just to see where they stack up against each other.
I did a lap on the outside and a lap on the inside. Looks like there's still a considerable advantage on the inside. We'll have to see if we can try that out and get some different lanes going in the feature.
Well, let's hop on board with our in-race reporter here. Looking over his shoulder, you can see just how much he's moving that wheel back and forth going around this racetrack there just to keep that car pointed the direction he wants it to go.
Yeah, I don't think you're really supposed to use this much wheel, but I haven't driven these cars in a very long time.
Well, and it's working out for you right now. You got the fastest lap on the board at the moment. 16.619. Nathan McCutcheon second fastest with a 16.681. But there is, oh, I shouldn't say that. We got Dawson Contrail on track. He is sitting third with a 16.78 as his best lap. So you're putting down better lap times than one of the best in the league right now.
And unfortunately, it won't count in this one. Dawson will get the inside pole, and I will get outside pole on the feature. And with this warm-up, you can still see just how much of an advantage the inside line is.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be a bit of a battle to see if anyone can keep that 21 car honest this race like Jason was able to do last race. Jason's the one hoping to be the one there so he can close in even closer in points. They came into tonight with about a 90-point spread between first and second. Jason would have closed that by a couple of points after Eldora Speedway, but he's hoping to do more here at Eldora.
Dawson has a very big lead. It is going to take a lot for these drivers to reel him in.
Well, at the end of this warm-up session here, Jason Smith able to put a faster lap down than Dawson. That's a good sign going into our feature race here. Dawson Contrail was fourth fastest in that feature, or in that warm-up, so not up to his usual standard, I would say.
That is a very good sign for all of these drivers.
But now we are getting ready to line up for our 40-lap feature here at Eldora Speedway. Our starting grid has Dawson Contrail on pole position with the principal, Hunter Wellman, outside pole. Second row sees Jason Smith with Zach Holbrook on the outside. Row number 3, in 5th place, Nathan McCutcheon in that 088 car with Daniel Northcutt, who had a late race charge in both his heat race here at Eldora as well as earlier on at Houston. Watch out for that 77 machine. Row number 4 sees David Murphy with Hunter LaJoy on the outside of him in that 7 car. Cody Contrail and Aaron Murphy will bring up the back of our 10 car field here tonight. Now, Hunter, we got 40 laps to race here at Eldora. 10 cars on the field, the first time that we've had all 10 cars out in a competition setting, not practice. What's going to be the key to getting through all 40 laps here, in your opinion?
I think tonight's race may be a tale of two halves. I think the first half, the inside line will still be dominant. Drivers will be fighting for A, being able to get down there as quick as possible with the double file restart, and B, staying down there as the track dries out. And then once we get it slick enough, the top or the middle line may become dominant, and drivers will have to figure out when the right time is to switch lines.
Well, and finding that right time can be difficult here, because you might feel one lap that you had plenty of grip down there, and all of a sudden the next time around that track there's no grip down there. So it's a very difficult balancing act as we are getting ready to go green flag racing here. Pace truck about to pull off. Dawson Contrail about to lead them to the green flag. Green flag in the air. Hunter is able to stay with Dawson fairly decently, but Dawson taking advantage of that shorter inside line, getting around that 64 car of Hunter Wellman. But on the bottom, Jason Smith making a statement and taking that lead away.
I didn't get the greatest start there. I wasn't able to drop down to the inside like I wanted to, and now I'm fighting for fourth.
Absolutely, Hunter slipping back a little bit here. Dawson Contrail, though, sliding back into third. Nathan McCutcheon and Jason Smith both sailing past that 21 car on that opening lap. Taking advantage of Dawson sliding up high as he cleared that 64 car of Hunter Wellman. Now Jason Smith having to fight Nathan McCutcheon, but don't look now. Dawson Contrail looking to make up that lost ground.
I forgot to turn my spotter on before this race, so I can't really tell who was on my outside.
Well, that is going to make tonight's event a little bit more difficult, but a lot more realistic, because in real life, these guys do not run mirrors or spotters. You basically tell who's around you by the sound and feel of things.
Yeah, running go-karts in the Northeast, you don't get a spotter or mirrors. I should be better at this, but I haven't been in the kart since last year. Fortunately, there's been a lot of rainouts near me.
Absolutely, but at the front here, we've got a battle for the lead. Jason Smith has it. Nathan McCutcheon fighting for it. Hunter Wellman, you have managed to get ahead of Dawson Contrail, regain third place away from Contrail. He is slipping back here now. He's got Zach Holbrook fighting him on the inside, trying to take fourth away from him.
Yeah, Dawson really tried committing to the outside on the start, and it didn't work well in his favor.
No, and he is still committing to that high line there. Zach Holbrook down on that lower. Zach kind of slid up that time there. Northcutt getting into this picture as well, trying to sneak in and follow Holbrook through.
I'm not sure I'm making too much ground on the inside. It might be time for me to start experimenting.
Well, there's definitely many lines around this racetrack right now. We're watching three of them right now with the battle for fourth. Zach Holbrook, Daniel Northcutt, fourth and fifth, or fifth and sixth. Dawson Contrail still in fourth. Only if just, as we see Northcutt taking the position away from Zach Holbrook. Holbrook thought about doing the crossover, but didn't quite commit to it until it got into turn 3.
The outside isn't boding too well for me. I'm going to try to switch back to the inside. Maybe make a move on the 088.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to have company in the form of Dawson Contrail very shortly, though, the way things have been going. He was there at your back bumper, but now you move back down, open that gap back up. You are gaining traction on Nathan McCutcheon, though, on the outside. He is rubbing that outside rear quarter panel almost along that fence the entire way around 3 and 4 that time. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not get any higher than that, as you see Hunter Wellman taking second place away from Nathan McCutcheon, proving that inside line still has enough grip to do something. Jason Smith, go ahead, Hunter.
I feel much more confident on the inside as of now. I'm not sure how much longer that's going to last. I'm going to have to sit here, maybe see how I can get around Jason Smith with a 1.5 second lead over me.
Absolutely. Smith doing exactly what he needs to do, and he is enjoying seeing what he is seeing in his rearview mirror. 2 cars between him and Dawson Contrail. This is the way he is going to gain the maximum amount of points, is go out there, lead as many laps as he can. Hopefully get that extra bonus point over Dawson for leading the most laps, but Hunter's looking to kind of get up there and be the spoiler. Dawson Contrail, on the other hand, though, he is not letting Jason get away with gathering as many points as he can. Now moving up into third over Nathan McCutcheon, and Nathan McCutcheon tried to do the crossover there. Dawson saw it come and tried to block it off. Nathan was already there. They make contact. Keep it going straight. No caution flag for any of that. So you see Nathan getting in the outside wall, running a little bit too high. Now he's going to have to fight off Daniel Northcutt for 4th place. After a strong run at Huset's there, Northcutt sneaking around that inside line on the 088. Not able to maintain the momentum, getting a little too sideways, having to give that position back up to McCutcheon. But he can't relax too hard here. Zach Holbrook, Hunter LaJoy are all over the back of this battle. In fact, Holbrook looking to the inside of the 77, looking to take 5th place away. Not quite able to do that as we see McCutcheon getting to the outside wall. He's going to lose 3 places. Jason Smith at the front. He is opening that lead up over Wellman. 2.3 seconds as of right now. running nice, clean, consistent laps right near the fastest on the field. The only car comparable to him is Northcutt in that 77 car. At least until that last time by.
I'm just not able to find the same speed that he has on the top. I'm able to maintain my position relative to him running the very bottom line, but when I get up into that slick, it is lights out for him.
Well, the last time across the line there, you were 300 slower, according to my scoring. This time across, you are 400 slower, so you are keeping close to him, but he is just that ever so slight little bit faster.
That is not what I want to hear at all.
Although that time you were 1.5 tenths faster than him. He lost a little bit of time on that outside line.
Hopefully all of these other cars running the outside will make it slick up quicker than the inside. Give me a little window to try to catch him.
First three out single file with big gaps between them. 4th place, 5th place, 6th place. That's where the battle is right now. Red and black cars all battling for position right now. Zach Holbrook has the point at 4th. Daniel Northcutt in 5th with Nathan McCutcheon running 6th. Don't count out Hunter LaJoy and Aaron Murphy though. They're not that far behind this battle. Laps are starting to wind down. We are in the final half of this race. Jason Smith out leading every lap that he can get. In fact, he probably has enough laps right now to clinch most laps led and take that bonus point for himself. Hunter Wellman, go ahead.
I don't remember if we do the bonus lap point or not.
Well, I'm going to act like we do. Gives that guy a little bit of hope.
Oh, very much so.
But
I could use that hope, though. He has nearly 3 seconds. We have a caution.
I do see that caution on the track right now. Looks like the 22 car, Cody Contrail, having issues. Coming through 3 and 4 onto the front straight. Just drives it far too hard into turn 1 there. Hits the outside wall with the right rear, which slaps the right front into it, and it turns him 180 degrees, facing him the wrong way on this racetrack. That's not the direction you want to face, Cody. Benefactors for the guys a little bit further back in the pack, but the ones that did not want to see this caution is that leader, Jason Smith. He will have the advantage. I believe we'll be restarting inside 10 laps to go, which means should be a single file restart. But he had a huge gap. Yeah, but that huge 3-second gap, or near 3-second gap he had over you, Hunter, is now gone. With the few laps we have remaining, what is your game plan to try to get around that 8 car ahead of you, Hunter?
I'm going to have to stick to my guns for this one. I'm going to have to dive down on the inside, defend 3rd place, and also try to get around Jason. I'm not sure if he'll dive it down like I have been, or if he'll try to run the wall.
Well, so far he has been pretty committed to that outside line, but restarts change the entire complexion of this race, so it's going to be interesting to find out when we go back green flag racing here. Lights on the pace truck are off. We are about to go back racing. You see everyone lined up single file right on that outside wall. You cannot legally pass to the inside until that green flag flies, and Smith on the gas. Contrail looking to the inside of Hunter Wellman. Sliding up, and Hunter right down to that inside, retaking 2nd place away. Hunter does not want this battle to last too long. He wants to get up there to that 8 car Smith, try to challenge him for the lead. As we see Contrail getting to the outside wall, he will lose third place to Zach Holbrook. Aaron Murphy making a move on Daniel Northcutt. And we have another car going, big wreck going on back here.
The drivers are unhappy over the radio. I'm not entirely sure what happened.
Well, it looks like Dawson Contrail got turned around. I did not see what exactly happened there. It looks like he made contact with another car. Nathan McCutcheon getting hard into him, going end over end. Caution flag back on the track. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened here.
There's a tire on the inside of turns 3 and 4. The track official might have to pick that up sooner or later.
Looks like it might have been Northcutt or Holbrook. I believe that might have been Holbrook. Thought he might have been clear of that car of Contrail, but was not quite coming, and ended up getting into the side of that 21 car and turning him around. Nathan McCutcheon with absolutely nowhere to go ends up going end over end. Big wreck for an 88 car. Unfortunate turn of events for Dawson Contrail. But the big winner on that one, Jason Smith. That's exactly what he wanted to see that 21 car do. Maybe not wreck, but he wants to see that big gap between him and Dawson.
It might be a little bittersweet for him. He had a decent lead, but that will help him in the points. Now that I know where he's going to restart, I can try to time this a little better than last time and maybe get around him.
Absolutely. Pace truck about to pull off. We're about to go back. Green flag racing. Jason with another good jump. Hunter not quite able to predict it as well as he was expecting to, but he is looking to the inside. Jason's going to have that run coming off the corners, going to hold off the field once again. Zach Holbrook up to third now. Daniel Northcutt right behind him. Aaron Murphy up into fifth, our biggest mover, up 5 positions from his starting spot. Coming to 5 laps to go, you can see that outside line, especially going into the corners, is starting to get a lot of rubber laid down. It's hard to imagine that there's a lot of traction getting into that corner on that high side. Jason Smith back out to about a 1 second lead over Hunter Wellman, who is having a fight right now to keep third and fourth behind him. Zach Holbrook, Daniel Northcutt. Heck, even throw Aaron Murphy into that mix. 4 cars all pretty closely tied to one another. Murphy looking to try to sneak 4th place away from Northcutt. Northcutt looking to try to catch back up to Holbrook. But Holbrook is putting the pressure on right now for 2nd place. 2 laps to go. Does he have enough time? Coming through 3 and 4 once again here. Be white flag at the line here. Jason Smith just has to make one more lap around this storied racetrack. Hunter Wellman in second, holding off Zach Holbrook and Northcutt at the moment. Jason Smith through 3 and 4 one last time.
They wrecked to the line.
We'll take the checkered flag. Hunter Wellman, Dawson Contrail somehow sneaking back up into 3rd. Well, that changes the complexion of everything here.
Did Dawson Contrail sneak out another podium from that?
It would appear he did. I am not quite sure where he managed to do that, but we're going to have to take a quick look back here, because like you said, there did appear to be a crash right at the end that we missed. And Cody Contrail here comes up in front of, I believe that is McCutcheon, and it spins around. We knew that 21 car Dawson Contrail is something seriously quick, but how did he make up these positions coming through the line? Have to take a quick look here. Should be the white flag lap right about here. Somehow he gets around 3 cars ahead of him to take 3rd place away. Oh, there's an issue between Zach Holbrook and Daniel Northcutt. Got tangled together. Aaron Murphy had to check up to avoid full contact with that. Murphy is still catching a little bit of it. Dawson Contrail was just far enough behind to sneak around that and pull a 3rd place finish out of absolutely nowhere. Well, Hunter, this is going to be a bit of a unique interview, but why don't we say we bring our 3rd place finisher in first? Dawson Contrail. Dawson, that... I honestly don't know what to say about that finish right there. That was something. You weren't in the picture, and all of a sudden, at the very last second, you managed a podium position.
I should have been in the picture regardless, but I got wrecked, and then he wrecked someone else at the end of the race. Kind of helped me.
Yeah, there's a little bit of contact between you and I believe that was either Holbrook or Northcutt there. Kind of puts you towards the back, and kind of what Jason wanted to see was a lot of positions between the two of you, but we knew that the 21 car is definitely not one that you want to count out, and you kind of proved that you definitely don't count that 21 team out tonight.
Yeah, when you got people in that can't pass a drug test, and you can see it on the track when they can't drive. You know, I mean, he wrecked 2 people in one race, junked my race, and then screwed whoever was in front of him and gave me 3rd. So, I mean, it is what it is. But I didn't have anything for Jason.
Well, let's save the blaming for after the broadcast.
I didn't name anybody.
I know, just letting you know.
Either way, Dawson, you know what? It's an up and down night, but you managed to salvage a 3rd place out of it, so there's definitely that. You're definitely not going to allow Jason to open that or close that gap between you and points as much as he was kind of hoping when he probably saw that you fell back through the pack there that little bit. So definitely a bit of a silver lining.
He was gone that whole race. No one was touching him.
Well, you probably would have had a shot, but he definitely had a really fast race car. Definitely proved he's going to be there in contention for the points, but he's got a bit of a gap to close up on you at least.
I was matching his lap times for that caution came out. I was slowly catching on Hunter, and then caution came out, and then stuff happened. I had to go to the back because I had to pit.
Either way, Dawson, I think it's going to be an interesting final run at the end of this season here to see if he can close that gap in the points to you. We know the both of you are extremely fast cars, so it's going to be an exciting race to watch. So I'm sure you got a few people on that car you want to give a shout out to thank for helping get where you are in the points in the racing season so far.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Black Shadow Speed Labs, Control Tire Lab, Check Race Rats, Owen Check Racing, Bet's Performance, Lucas Performance, RX Fit, Night Courts Restaurant and Lounge. I'd like to thank Jameson Yak Mac and T-Will for really wrenching on this thing late in the race when I had to get to the hot pit. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for watching the race in the living room, and Cody for spotting me in the back, and JR for spotting me in the back, and I'd like to thank Josh Altman for watching the YouTube stream and giving me a good spot.
Absolutely. All right, Dawson. Well, congratulations on 3rd. We will see you again, I hope, next Sunday.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, this is probably going to be the easiest interview I've ever done here because I don't have to drag anyone up to it. Hunter, congratulations on 2nd.
Thank you very much.
You ran a pretty solid race there. You gave us a little bit of inside intel going on, what was going on out there at Eldora Speedway. But you were one of the few cars running that very bottom line Was it that much of an advantage just to you, or what do you think was going on?
I think the outside there at the end was a little faster. However, I am not the greatest in running in the slick, so the whole race I personally was setting faster lap times, staying on the bottom. If I have more practice in these cars and running in the slick, I think I could have done better. Unfortunately, it didn't really go in my favor tonight. Could have wished for a little tackier track.
No, and like I was talking with Dawson there, you or Dawson and Jason both are proven to be extremely fast cars. We know that you can be pretty damn quick too, but like you said, you're kind of a little bit out of practice with these 358s. You've been playing race control for the entire season, haven't been playing with these boys, but you get a couple more races under your belt, you might be able to compete for a win yet.
Uh, I don't know. I'm not sure how many more of these races I'll run this season. The clock is winding down. This this is one of my better tracks in these cars, so maybe I'll have to put in some practice time.
Absolutely. I believe we have, what, 4 more races to go, which would be 2 race nights?
It should be.
So yeah, we got 2 more, or well, 4 more chances for Jason to close that gap, for you to figure these cars out, and just see exactly where we can go with this.
Uh, yeah, we'll have to see.
Alright, Hunter, well, before we move on with our race winner here, I'm sure you got a few names you want to give a shout out to, thank, and appreciate for helping make that race car fast tonight.
Yeah, first off, I want to thank Aaron Murphy and David Murphy. Us three together run Ohio Valley Sim Sports. They kind of let me do my own thing. Sometimes I'm racing, sometimes I'm race control. They let me put up races for money and prizes through Ohio Valley Sim Sports, so it's really cool for them. I want to thank you for broadcasting all of these races. I kind of showed up in the booth uninvited a little while ago. I want to thank you for always dealing with me. I want to thank the rest of the drivers for putting on a good show tonight. I want to thank RJB Automotive, KRS Clothing, Kellner Range and Supply, Hairstyles with John, Misfit Creations, Disabled American Veterans, and Steel City Synthetics. They sponsor me not in this league, but in the other leagues that I run and in real life as well with Wellman Racing. You can find Wellman Racing on YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook.
Well, I think that's the first time we've gotten a social media plugged up where you can find you, which is probably not a bad thing, Hunter. So yeah, you want to check out some fun racing action, you go back there and look up Wellman Racing there on those social media platforms he just mentioned. But what do you say, Hunter? We bring in our number one guy right now, Jason Smith, our race winner. Jason, how are you
Jason,
doing right now? You went 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, I I don't know. That was a fun race in the sense of I had to keep it off the fence, which I unsuccessfully did. I hit it quite a few times, and I think some of those yellows were a little unnecessary towards the end. I don't think they ever should have happened, and it became a little bit of a challenge because I pretty much burned my right rear off, and after that last restart, tires cooled off. I couldn't do much. It was really hard getting off of two, especially.
Well, it didn't. It absolutely didn't look like it. Didn't look like anyone on that track had anything for you that entire race. You got out there early. You opened up a gap, a pretty huge gap to be honest. About 2.6 seconds, I think I saw at one point.
Yeah, I mean, Dawson hitting the wall on the first lap kind of opened up the door a little bit, and I think it was Nathan on the inside of me for a little bit, and I couldn't make a stick through the center. I'm like, you know what? I just got to go to the top and see if it sticks, and it's the only way I was going to get ahead. So that's what I did, and thankfully it worked.
Well, the only guy at the end here, my in-car broadcaster, Mr. Hunter Wellman, he kind of tried to keep you honest on that last restart. Was there anything you did to, were you watching where he was running, trying to, keep tabs and take note on where he preferred to be to try to shut him down on that last restart, or were you just intent on running your own line?
Nah, I mean, on the restarts, I was just kind of doing the whole dive down and try to time it right and throw everybody else off. And I knew the only way I was going to stay ahead is if I kept my momentum because I had nothing left in my tire. I'd been out there all race, all against the wall.
Well, you definitely outran or outclassed the field tonight there, led the vast majority of the laps for the win. Hunter, I'm sure you got a question or two after chasing him that entire time.
Yeah, I want to know how to run the slick like you can. You were fast up there tonight.
I mean,
Is there?
I just kind of, especially going against the high side, once that gets so far up against the wall, it's kind of dangerous to just throw it in there, especially when your tire's burning off. So I literally just I let off about a quarter way, drive straight through the slick, let it slide up a little bit, then get back in the gas as much as the car will let me. It's kind of got to
Right.
keep it pointed the way you want it, especially coming off the two. That's dangerous. I smacked my right rear about 3 different times, and that can turn you right back into the wall and destroy your right front. So
Yeah, I also want to say congratulations. I've been running some officials with you lately. You've run a lot of big blocks and 358s trying to get practice. We ran a race at Lernerville. Unfortunately, that didn't go your way, but
yeah.
it, these past two races have certainly gone your way. All that practice is paying off.
Yeah, I
For the
honestly,
record, I just want to
oh,
say for the
go ahead.
record, the margin was much closer when I was racing the big blocks with him. But
Racer pride
but
coming
yeah,
in right here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's all
yeah.
it's just like a man fishing. You know, the fish was always 2 feet long and 50 pounds, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
All right, Jason. Well, you know what? Tonight is going to definitely help you in the point standings there. I'm sure you were kind of jumping for joy when you saw Dawson had fallen to the back of the pack. Probably didn't enjoy the way he went to the back of the pack, but that gap that you saw between him and you definitely spelled good things for the standings. He kind of took us all by surprise there at the end, managing that podium. Like, were you keeping any tab on that to see where you were in relation to Dawson and to, you know, just as far as how you guys are running in points right now?
And yeah, I could see him in the rear view just behind Hunter. I'm like, oh, he made up ground pretty fast, so I just gotta hope that his car's a little bit screwed up from the start still. Maybe he won't have enough grip to catch up. That really wasn't the way I wanted to win. I mean, it gave me some good practice laps. I learned a lot about the track and the car, but I was hoping for a little more of a battle, honestly.
Ow, very hurtful to the rest of your competition. Oh,
I
but
mean,
no, you were
we're all
fast
good
out there
drivers.
tonight.
I just happen to have it figured out.
Oh, it's all just fun and games here.
Exactly.
Congratulations on your very dominant win tonight.
Thank you, sirs.
And I know you didn't say you had very many people to thank, but maybe you had some time to think about it. Is there anyone you want to add to that very short list?
I mean, I can thank the league itself. Just putting these on as usual.
Well, you
It
know
gives me a
what?
Thank
lot of
you very
practice time. I
much.
learned how to race a little cleaner. You know, got some pretty fast guys in here. I was pretty slow when I started. Wasn't the worst, wasn't the best. Now I'm starting to. I deem myself as creeping up above average now. So yeah, it's nice.
Well, you're sitting second in points. That gap's going to narrow up ever so slightly here after tonight's events. Going to have to wait to see just how much it closes up, but we have 4 more races for you to close that gap even more.
Yeah, I'm gonna push for it. It's like I said before. It's gonna be tight.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Jason, on your win tonight, going 2 for 2, sweeping the weekend. So,
Yeah, thank you, boys.
all right, Hunter. Well, that will bring us to the end of our broadcast. We'll be back next Sunday with Limaland and Kern County, by the looks of things. That could be an interesting couple of races, I think.
Limaland is a very tight and tricky track. So is Kern. I'm not too bad at Limaland myself. Maybe you guys will see me there.
Well, we could definitely use an in-race reporter once again. If you're more than happy to join me in the booth here, I'd be happy to welcome you.
If you have time, the point standings just got released after 11 races.
Well, it looks like
Uh,
Dawson now has about a 60-point lead, give or take a few points here. Dawson Contrail 612, Jason Smith 545. They are almost 100 points up on third. Daniel Northcutt with 463. So it is going to be a 2-car race for the championship here.
Definitely. And for the 1 or 2 people wondering at home, I managed to walk away with 60 points after tonight, putting me in 23rd place.
But I believe that will be the end of our event here tonight, Hunter. It was a pleasure having you in the broadcast booth with me. I always love having someone to go back and forth with, so makes things a lot more interesting in my opinion.
Thank you very much. It's always fun being here. For all those at home, don't forget, next Friday we will have the Frustration 500 put on by me and Tom Quiring, a 45-minute figure 8 race with the 358 modifieds. The winner will get $10. The person with the most incident points will walk away with $5. And a new little thing that I added, if someone will take an EOL and go back to the front, I will double their prize money.
Absolutely, and this is intended to be a race, the whole name, the Frustration 500. As you heard tonight in our interviews, a couple of hurt feelings after tonight's event, so this is a chance for those drivers to get those frustrations out with no repercussions, and maybe a little bit of a reward if they happen to get their frustrations out enough and gain a few incident points in the process.
It'll be very interesting to see.
Absolutely, I can't wait to run in it. But we will call the broadcast here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me. Hunter Wellman joined me as an in-car broadcaster. I am Tom Quiring. This has been the Ohio Valley Sim Sports 358 Modified Mayhem Tour. Join us once again next Sunday at the same times for our 2 upcoming races. Thank you and see you later.
Goodbye.